Well, Aakash 3 tablet will be in the market in 6 months, while 2014 will see Aakash 5. Well, that's according to DataWin CEO Singh Tuli. DataWin is the company behind the Aakash tablets, the cheapest tablet in the world. Our correspondent Sidhant Sibal talks more on this with Singh Tuli in a DD News exclusive.
I have with me the CEO of DataWind, Singh Tuli, to talk to me on Aakash and various other issues. So welcome to Doordarshan News, sir. So first thing first, sir, tell me about what's your belief about Aakash?
Thank you for having me. I believe that technology needs to be affordable. In India, we have 90 crore people that have access to cell phones, but less than 50 lakh people that have access to the internet. That gap, sort of a 10 to 1 and 20 to 1 gap, is primarily because of affordability. And the Aakash is Indian government's effort to try to create very low-cost devices that can help empower students and create a better quality education system across this country.
So you think it will revolutionize the Indian IT space in a sense?
I really believe so, because the Indian IT space till today is limited to between 50 lakh and 1 crore people. This is a country of 120 crore people.
Okay.
And so I think that the broader reach requires affordability. At 20,000 rupees a computer or a tablet, they're not viable for the common man. And I think these devices at 2,500 rupees and 3,500 rupees and 4,000 rupees, in that kind of price point, makes it a lot more viable. And certainly, I believe very strongly that affordability will revolutionize computing and internet in this country.
So how many orders from the government?
So the first order from the government is 1 lakh units.
Okay.
And the government then intends to put out a tender to procure 50 lakh units. In addition to that, they've put out a vision that they'd like to see all 22 crore students in this country equipped with low-cost computing internet devices. The initial, as I said, is 1 lakh, and then they'll scale up.
Okay. And any orders from the private industry?
Sure. So we have a significant amount of pre-booking backlog that comes in from the consumer segment, and we're delivering against those. And those are ongoing pre-bookings that keep coming in, and we deliver against those.
And from other countries, sir?
So there has been a lot of demand internationally. As you may know, the UN, India, in the month of November, had the presidency of the UN Security Council and did an event at the United Nations in New York. And the Secretary General of the UN, Ban Ki-moon, launched Aakash 2 and praised India as an IT superpower for taking such initiatives. The result of that and some of the previous efforts has created demand from literally dozens of countries that are now following India's lead and are looking at deploying low-cost devices like Aakash and UB Slate into the mass market.
So can we call Aakash as all tablet killer or killer of all the laptops in a sense, in India at least?
I'm not sure that it's the killer. I think that it's a leader that is opening up a new market.
Okay.
It's a market that in 2011, there were only 2.5 lakh tablets being sold in India.
Okay.
We believe that next year, there will be between 50 lakh to 1 crore tablets in 2013. So to go from 2.5 lakh to 1 crore tablets is a huge market increase. And so it's not a killer of other tablets. It's something that has created further awareness and has opened up markets and has shown other manufacturers that there's a market and a demand for 3,000 rupee tablets.
Okay. So there was lots of controversy over its manufacturing. Some said that it is like from China, taken directly from China. What's your thoughts on that?
So the important thing to understand is why the controversy exists.
Okay.
The consumer has not demanded a made in India product. Our customer, the Indian government that is buying these from us, has also not demanded made in India product. But ironically, as the sole party that has been pushing for a made in India agenda, we're being criticized and we're being told that the product instead is from China. Now, if it is that straightforward to provide a product for 2,263 rupees with these specifications from China, with 10% withheld for a year, with the USB hub and other accessories that come with it, we're happy for anybody to supply that to us. So the people that are making those accusations, we ask them to supply them to us at that price because our demand is so much and we're having difficulty keeping up with the demand. So instead of making false accusations, sensationalist accusations that don't have any basis in reality, where especially the customer, the government, or the consumer doesn't think it's an issue. Certain segments in the media have chosen to highlight this to sort of undermine India's reputation internationally on the eve of the UN event, right? So I know, yes, it's a controversy, and I know it created front-page news, and there was sensationalism associated with it, but the reality is it doesn't matter. It's an Indian idea. We're manufacturing, doing final assembly and programming of the devices in India. We're setting up India's first touchscreen plant, a fab in Amritsar, where those touchscreens will be made in India, and it's an Indian innovation. But instead of being proud, because the UN Secretary General and the world is proud of what India is doing, it's unfortunate that there's a defeatist element within a certain segment of the Indian media who would rather say, no, 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 don't praise India for the efforts it's making. Let's figure out how to trash India.
So we can in future probably see a local manufactured Aakash, and giving like this will make the Aakash more cheaper, will it?
Well, initially it doesn't impact price as much, okay? But certainly adding more and more Indian value addition we think is important, because what it will do is it will create local employment.
Okay.
If the government's going to put forward low-cost computing internet devices for all 22 crore students in this country, it makes sense for those devices to be made in India. It makes sense for them to have Indian value addition in those devices, so that it creates local employment, it creates local manufacturing, creates local innovation and local opportunities.
So future Aakash tablets will be made in India?
The current ones are finally assembled in India, and we take the position that they're made in India, and futures will have more and more Indian value addition, yes.
So in a sense, it's like a positive news. But sir, continuing with the Aakash story, Aakash 3, when is it coming?
So the government has decided that the specifications cannot be cast in stone for eternity. They realize that the specifications need to continue to evolve and improve, and they've decided that every 6 months, these specifications will be upgraded to keep in stream with what the market and the technology exhibit. We think that you'll see Aakash 3 in less than 6 months, and you'll see Aakash 4 in less than 12 months, and you'll see Aakash 5 in 18 months. So this is an evolution, and it'll continue forward.
So 2014 Aakash 5.
For sure.
Okay. So one last question. Today, I met with the Telecom and IT Minister Kapil Sibal. He told me that a global tender will be announced for Aakash. What's your view on that?
We think it's fantastic. The first tender that we had won was also a global tender, and the government will continue putting out additional global tenders. What's important when the government considers such global tenders is that they allow eligibility criteria to be at a stage where smaller companies like ours and Indian companies that want to participate have the ability to participate and add value to it. As an example, the UP government ran a tender which closed yesterday, which had a eligibility criteria that was only meant for large multinationals, and smaller companies and Indian companies could not really participate in it. The result was, while this Aakash is being delivered to the Indian government for 2,263 rupees, the lowest bid that was received in the UP tender was 19,000 rupees. So since cost is important, we think those eligibility criteria will be important. A global tender is very important, and we hope that other players will come to help drive the price down.
Okay, so that was the CEO of DataWin talking exclusively to Doordarshan News. Sidhant Sibal, DD News, New Delhi.
And that was our correspondent Sidhant Sibal, an exclusive chat with the CEO of DataWin, the company behind the Aakash tablets. On that note, we'll take another quick break here. Stay with us.